My name is Shawulu, representing Taukum, Donga, Usa, and Yangtu Federal Constituency in Taraba State. I move that the bill for an act to amend the Explosives Act Cap E18, Laws of the Federation 2004, relating to their regulations, penalties for defaulters, to make provisions for the control of importation, manufacture, distribution, storage, possession, and use of firecrackers and explosives, to repeal the Explosives Act Cap E18, Laws of the Federation 2004, and reenact the Explosives Act 2016 to make comprehensive provisions for the use and control of explosives in Nigeria and for other matters connected therewith be read a second time. I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Gideon Gwone, please second. Honorable Rima, please lead the debate.
This bill seeks to repeal the Explosive Act number 34 of 1967, Cap E18, Laws of the Federation 2004, and reenact the Explosives Act 2016. It makes comprehensive provisions for the importation, manufacture, storage, and use of explosives in Nigeria. What is the purpose of this bill? The amendment to this bill has become necessary for the following reasons. First, the use of explosives for crime and terrorism have become rampant in many parts of the world, including Nigeria. Secondly, explosives are no longer used exclusively for industrial purposes. Three, the expansion and modernization of our economy means that many persons have access to explosives or sites where explosives are kept. There is presently no reliable central control point where data on locations of explosives and persons having access to them can be accessed for legitimate security inquiry. It has become imperative, therefore, to expand the control of explosives from the present industrial uses purposes, since they have become major security materials. We do know that across the world, serious attention is being paid to the manufacture, importation, storage, and use of explosives. Presently, if you look around Nigeria, it is not uncommon to see one or two policemen accompany a truckload of explosive from seaports to industrial or mining sites in Nigeria. This bill also took into cognizance the laws guarding the manufacture, importation, and use of explosives in the United Kingdom, whose laws were amended in 2005. The law guarding explosives in Tanzania, South Africa, and Pakistan were also cross-checked in the process of working on this bill. The bill also benefited from a Senate bill on the same subject matter in the Fifth Assembly, sponsored by Senator Ibrahim Ida, which was not fully carried through. It's important to note that possession of explosives without appropriate permits and licenses attract very high penalty in the US, Canada, and of course in some places life sentences are imposed on those who possess these things without permits. What are the details in this bill? The bill is divided into 9 parts. It consists of 31 sections. Part 1 is the application sections, and it provides in section 2.1 that no person may possess explosives or carry out any activity relating to explosives unless he or she holds a license, permit, or authorization issued in terms of this act. Part 2 deals with the appointment and functions of inspectors and disposal of explosives. Section 3 gives the Inspector General of Police the power upon clearance by the SSS and after confirmation by the National Assembly to appoint a member of the Armed Forces or Police with explosives training as the Chief Inspector of Explosives in Nigeria. Part 3 deals with the manufacture, dealing, importation, exportation and packaging of explosives. Part 4 deals with record keeping of explosives by manufacturers and importers. Part 5 makes provision that any person who intentionally places, discharge or detonates explosives with intent to cause death or serious bodily injury to any other person or to damage or destroy any place, facility or system is guilty of an offense. Part 7 makes provision for offenses, penalties, jurisdictions and appeal. And Part A, Section 29(1) gives the Inspector General of Police the power to make regulations regarding the provisions and implementations of this act. This bill seeks to repeal the 1967 Act, which is just a few lines attached to the papers that were circulated, and reenact a bill that has comprehensive provisions to deal with the storage, transportation, importation, and uses of explosives in Nigeria. I will urge my dear colleagues, therefore, Honorable Speaker, to support the effort to upgrade our system to meet international best practice. The security agencies have been concerned that there are no regulations guiding this sector, and that may have given use to the rampant use of explosives across the country in the robberies that take place in banks and also in the activities of Boko Haram terrorists. I call on all my colleagues to give this support to this act, to this bill, so that it is passed and our system is upgraded to meet international best practice. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Minority Leader.
I remain Leo Kuwe-Ogo, representing Isoko Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, I'm from Delta State. Let me first and foremost commend the author and mover of this repeal for bringing before us again a very, very important repeal that borders on our collective safety, lives, and the misuse of explosives. It is important that as a very good lawmaker like our colleague is, when you see something that is totally outdated, it is important to bring it into conformity with present day reality. Let me state that this enactment, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, was an enactment that was enacted far back in 1967. 67 till date, and when this enactment was made, a lot of the things that are happening today were never ever envisaged. And when you look at even the bill itself, it is only a bill that carries one specific subhead which talks about the bill itself in details. My take here is that because of the present day reality and the challenges, and what people, specifically terrorists and a host of other misuse of these specific explosive issues has become to us, where other people have unnecessary access to explosive and they've been used wrongly, Mr. Speaker, it becomes important that we adopt best international practices in making sure that this specific issue that borders on explosive is tackled perfectly. When you look at the issue of punishment, Mr. Speaker, you can clearly see that the offense even issues borders on only 1,000 naira fine. The imprisonment term here is for only 2 years or a fine for 1,000 naira. And I can tell you categorically that it is not a very, very good bill as it is today. So a colleague of ours has looked at it in details and have decided that, for the safety of the Nigerian people, drawing reference from the provision of Section 18, Section 14, Sub 2 of our Constitution, he has decided to bring this bill into conformity with present-day reality. And I want to appeal that we'll give him all the necessary support, because he is here looking at the safety of the Nigerian people, by extension, our collective safety. So I appeal that we give him the necessary support so that this bill can be taken to the committee level, where the I's will be dotted and the T's crossed. Mr. Speaker, I so support this bill. Thank you.
Read a second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. Claire is invited to.
Honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Explosives Act, Cap E18, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, relating to their regulations, penalties for defaulters, to make provisions for the control of importation, manufacture, distribution, storage, possession, and use of firecrackers and explosives, to repeal the Explosives Act, Cap E18, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and reenact the Explosives Act, 2016, to make comprehensive provisions for the use and control of explosives in Nigeria and for other matters connected therewith. Second reading.